Well, good morning on a very wet, rainy morning. And Oliver and I are coming to you with my uncle, his great uncle, Larry Embry's personal Bible that he gave to me just a few years back when he retired from the pulpit ministry. And I mention that because this week, Sunday morning, in fact, my Uncle Larry, pastor of Cedar Grove Baptist Church in Ohio County, Kentucky, passed away. He'd been in poor health for several years and was in a car accident and could not recover from the injuries this time. So this is kind of a tribute, and in memory of him, we're going to have his services tomorrow, and I'm blessed enough to be able to participate in that. And I'm going to go with the scripture from 2 Timothy chapter 4, verses 6 through 8. Oliver's trying to get the page lined up for me. I'm using Uncle Larry's personal Bible, like I said, that he gave me a few years back. And it says, "For I am already being poured out like a drink offering, and the time for my departure is near. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have longed for his appearing." And that scripture really does come to mind because of the legacy of a man like Larry Embry, who spent 39 years pastoring a church that, goodness, Oliver, located in the country outside Olaton, Kentucky, in Ohio County, a location that is very, very similar to what Drennan's is. And if you know anything about our church, it's pretty well in the middle of nowhere. And so is Cedar Grove. But they run 200 to 300 every Sunday. And since he retired 4+ years ago, they haven't missed a beat. You know, sometimes when you have a minister that's been there for multiple decades like that, they experience a drop-off. But his nephew, David, took the pulpit after that, and they also have a really talented and gifted children's minister named Kyle Hall. And they've just not missed a beat. They've grown. They are about as multicultural as you can be in Ohio County, multi-generational. They're a modern church, but an old-fashioned church. They're a serving church. And that's because of my Uncle Larry and my Aunt Elda, their son Brian, who's been with the Lord for almost 4 years. He and his dad are reunited now. And just so many great people there. And it hasn't even sunken in, really, that Uncle Larry's gone. I got the text and then spoke on the phone with my aunt very early Sunday morning, and I was so glad that my little buddy here was in my lap at that moment, because that really helped to soften the blow. And he knew, you know, it's like babies are so perceptive that you're in a time of need. Even our cat, Lizzie, came up and stood up against my chest and put her paw on my face. They just know. It's like when Jesus says in Scripture for people to be like the children and like the babies, have faith like that, because he's right. So, Uncle Larry ran the race. He did endure to the end. I learned so much about being a Christian, and certainly about the ministry from him. And we'll honor him tomorrow, and hope that we can somehow live up to that legacy. So we'll see you tonight at Drennan for Awana and Bible study, and Sunday at worship. Bye-bye.